You're listening to Scene2IQ, the Scene to Scenic podcast. We want to begin by acknowledging that we are currently broadcasting on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Neutral peoples, as well as the Haldeman Tract, land which is promised to the Six Nations that runs 6 miles on each side of the Grand River. We are grateful to be using this space this evening. We express our gratitude to the traditional and original stewards of this land, and at the time of recording, appreciate the work that the Indigenous organizations such as Crow Shield Lodge are doing right here in Kitchener-Waterloo to include all nations in land stewardship through ceremony and public events. Welcome back, everybody. So grateful to have two special guests with me today. One is Meyers. Formerly played with Jones and the Jack Pines, still plays with Sidney Jones, as well as Ryan Silver. And the two of them play in two bands together. One is the number one greatest hits band called
Get Real.
And the other band is a tribute to the Rolling Stones, which is
Stone and Rolling. Good thing we rehearsed that.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start just where I kind of saw you guys before, right? And then we can kind of talk about how you guys met and a bit of your background in music and stuff like that. But so more recently, Ryan, I met you at Caleb's jam at the Boathouse, which was super cool.
That was fun.
And you absolutely crushed, I forget what song, but you just got up there and were singing the vocals and just brought the energy. It was
Superstition.
Yeah.
Super class.
Can't believe I forgot that because the performance was memorable. I just couldn't remember the name.
Fun time.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then Ethan goes a little further back. I saw you first with Jones and the Jack Pines. So how did you two meet?
He lived just like a 3-minute walk away from me. I didn't know him through most of high school, but one day I was playing road hockey, and some dingus was in in net wearing intentionally like misfitting, like just not even close to the right size on him, goalie gear. And he was just spinning the hockey stick instead of actually playing. And he just could go like, "I am the sun's son. I am the power of the sun's son," or something like that. And I walked up and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Man.
I tried to explain that the best way to play goalie in hockey is if you spin your stick fast enough, it can pretty much cover all the distance in front of you at any given time. And so it will naturally deflect any puck. The challenge, of course, as every goalie in hockey knows, is getting your stick to spin fast enough for that to work. And I was explaining it to Ryan. And Ryan didn't believe me at first.
No.
But at first, because there's a conversion story here many years down the road where I finally to demonstrate to him. But anyways, that's not really about how we first met. It's about we were playing road hockey in our local neighborhood after living together, not together, but in the same neighborhood for 10 years?
Yeah.
We lived very close to each other for a decade. We didn't know each other at all. We went to different schools, and then it was high school that we ended up meeting, but really only at the very tail end of it.
Yeah, and he was a year older than me.
Yeah, and so it
crossed paths a lot.
Exactly.
Other than music, sometimes here and there, but the repertoires and stuff like that. But I was never in the same one as him at the same time, so it just never worked. And then, we became really good friends after, that day we met, and then we found that we both played Magic the Gathering, and we started playing some Magic together.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
I mean, it was kind of like that Step Brothers moment where, did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
That's very much what
my answer was no.
Yeah, I'll never be friends with this guy if I can afford to. Yeah, it was just one of those moments, and then, I don't know, for a few years after that, especially, we were, inseparable, and then it took kind of going away to different universities.
Mm-hmm.
To get any sort of real distance between us and to hang out less because we would just spend all of our time together basically. Pretty much in a relationship.
Yeah, we hung out every day.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the dynamic actually between the two, and you guys have great chemistry in that way.
Thank you. I've been trying to push that for years. Yeah. It's unrequited, but one day
I've been trying to push him away for years.
I'm still here, hanging on.
No, I low-key also have a Storm Cauldron deck.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that's cool. You guys obviously for a long time, hung out and played sports. What about the music part? Just for people who don't know and to clarify things, Ethan is a drummer and Ryan is a vocalist and plays some guitar, I assume?
I do play guitar. I don't do it too much on stage, but when it's needed, I play some rhythm.
Ryan's a front man.
Yeah, I can attest to both of these gentlemen who I've seen both live. They both perform.
Thank you.
I think, and that's like maybe part of why we are such good friends is like we just have a lot of similarities on our personalities, and one of that is like being wild on stage. And we do it in different ways. Like I'm sitting behind a kit, and Ryan gets to be the guy who runs out and talks to every single person in the crowd while he's singing.
Yeah,
but that sort of approach to live music is just in our blood, and that's an easy way to make it connect. Oh yeah.
No, I was actually talking about how like on stage, like he said, I go into the crowd, but every once in a while I'll have like a cloud hug me from behind, and I'll know that Ethan just got off of the kit and just to join us.
Nice big sweaty cloud.
It is more of a rain cloud. It's true.
Yeah.
It's
I like don't really let go of him at first. Like you might give a normal hug to someone.
It's true. And he's stinky, and I'm like, please stop, and he doesn't. And
Ryan just told me one time he needed me to embrace him more. And I didn't know that he didn't mean physically. Well, okay, how did we get into... Well, we started, like, pretty soon after we became good friends and started playing a lot of Magic. We discovered that we're also both really into music. And at the time, and high school, both of us were, I guess the term is raucous. So we just very much believed, like, rock is the pinnacle of music, and that everything else, it's just, like, not as good. And neither of us believe that now, but at the time it was certainly something to bond over. And
Totally fair.
Yeah.
this goes back to the Black Eyed Peas hate that I had at the start there. It's just like I was a true rockist along with Ethan, and like Black Eyed Peas were one of the top most hated bands or artists for me. They were everywhere all the time, and they were a genre that wasn't rock, so therefore they were awful. I couldn't stand them growing up, and then it wasn't until like, my goodness, like 10 years after their prime that I was like on a plane ride. They had an album in the on-flight service chair TV thing.
On-flight service. I was looking at the chair and I was like, "That's a night. I wish I was sitting in that seat."
I listened to Elefunk and I just fell in love. I was like, "Wait a second, these guys aren't just good; they're actually great." Like Will.i.am is an incredible producer.
Wow, that shattered your illusion, huh?
It really did. Well, that wasn't the first one, but
yeah, that's fair.
That was definitely a moment in my like, man.
But really casually, like neither of us were that serious about music. Certainly not as serious as we are now.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe because we weren't as serious then, that was more of like a form of like hanging out and doing fun things together. And then we eventually split apart when it came to school. I went off to university, Ryan went off to university, and we went to different ones. Like the reason that I'm in this area is because I came to Waterloo. And Ryan went to York and lived in North York and Mississauga for a while. And that distance and sort of living our own lives like created some separation between us. We weren't musically involved for many, many years. In fact, when I went to university, I stopped playing. And it was only through friends that I met in school that they invited me to, hey, they needed a drummer for their band. It had been like a few years since I had even picked up a pair of sticks. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there behind the kit again, playing for some people, and the love came back.
I didn't even sing until after like COVID. Like I was a guitar player back then. Yeah,
man. Like just anecdotally.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been working hard on it. I'm a okay singer. Frontman's where I make my due. I like to entertain the crowd and be part of the musical experience. I was a guitarist back then, so like just guitar. Then when we jam, I'd pick up a microphone, but it wouldn't be as pleasant. But yeah, I didn't touch music for most of university either. I played guitar here and there. I didn't sing, and then it wasn't until COVID that I started taking vocal lessons. So I realized like, I've sounded really bad vocally for long enough. I should probably try to do something. So from there, I joined Stoned and Rolling, or like I helped form it, I should say, and just after COVID, and that's when I first started playing live music. My first show was actually here in Waterloo, or KW, it was at the Jazz Room.
Nice, great spot.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Ethan recorded it, actually. He was the camp.
Yeah, so I wasn't actually the initial drummer for that band. I was playing in I stayed in a band that I still play in called Mojo Minefield at the time, and then I was also in the middle of my PhD, and I was doing a lot more of music, and I was really liking music, but I had a vision at the time that I wanted to become a professor, and that's where I was spending more of my time than anything.
It's kind of a doctor.
This is true, yeah. So that's where all of my real attention was going. It wasn't going fully into music. It was going into furthering my education and trying to get a job in academia.
So I'm just curious.
Yeah.
The PhD program, what were you studying?
So I was in psychology, and then the sub-branch that I was in is called cognitive psychology. Now, most people, when they hear psychology, they think therapy. But that's actually not at all what I was in. I was in research in particular, so I did a lot of studies involving humans, and I studied judgment and decision making more than anything. So I'm really interested in the choices people make. Something that Ryan can attest to is like, for my entire life, I would look at people and just ask why. Why would you do that? In certainly sometimes in a judgmental way, and other times more in just I'm just incredibly curious. Like, how did that action come about? And it turns out that you can study that. And that was a bit of a drug to me. I was just endless. I find people endlessly fascinating. And it was like a wellspring of motivation to just, you can keep asking questions and getting answers. And I liked the empirical process. I really like statistics. And so merging that all together, wow, I'm a nerdy guy. Merging that all together, it was what looked to me like a pretty cool pathway to go. And I love teaching. And so that's what I was sort of aiming to, and that's what I was heading to. I like people. I like what they think. I like studying how they think.
And I'm the perpetual guinea pig.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, someone's got to be a sounding board, right?
Yeah, exactly. Patient zero. Yeah.
And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I was just about to joke that nobody ever asked about my education after we mentioned he's a doctor. Nah, it's I went to New York for a program called Science and Technology Studies. It's basically a general science.
I could do with that.
I have a BSc.
Better than me.
It's still pretty impressive.
Better than me.
It's okay. I mean, I like numbers. I like music.
You said maybe you didn't play as much music, but it seems to me that like there is some kind of correlation between like music and being able to study these really cool topics.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be wrong in making that kind of correlation? Or
I don't think so. I don't think you'd be wrong. I think you're like, I think so many fascinating minds have been like some of the greatest musicians. Brian May is a great example of such, just, it just takes like somebody with an incredible amount of ambition to pour everything into art. And so like
art is a better way to say it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It comes in all forms and shapes and sizes, right? So, but
being a frontman is much of it.
I agree. There's an art to it, and so like when people tell me like, "Hey, you're a good singer," I'm like, "Not really," but I think I'm a pretty good frontman.
And that's a good distinction to make, and I'm going to pull on this thread a bit more for you.
Please,
if that's okay.
Yeah, please do.
I was guilty, as you heard me asking or talking about it. Maybe not making that distinction as much as
sure.
vocalist. How would you like determine the difference between those two things?
I'm being nitpicky when I pick on people for it, like nitpicky for picking. But but it's just like a front man. The job of a front person is just to put on the show, be the eyes of the show, or for the show, while a vocalist sings. And so front people typically are singers, or I guess almost always, if not always. But and so I am a vocalist as well. I just don't consider myself a very good one. I don't have a lot of training. I don't, I truly admire the art of vocal work, and I just know that I have a lot of room to grow. But that's pretty much it. I only think I have my moments. Otherwise, I just do a passing grade. I don't make people squirm and go, that guy can't sing. But I don't think it, like, some people are like, wow, you're a great singer, and I just almost never believe them. It's just like, I hear myself. Like, sometimes I have moments, but that's not what I do. Like, when people come up and say, Ryan, your energy's crazy, like, you put on a good show, I can believe them, because I look back and I'm like, I'm pretty proud of what I do there. So I feel very confident in my ability to do that. And, like, Ethan would be the same thing, but he's just stuck behind a kit. Like, that's the problem. He's sitting down for the whole show.
When I've seen you perform.
Please do.
It's like, even though he is behind a kid, like, he's doing it today for girls. I mean, there's video from here, but, like, he got a great shirt on. He sometimes wears these awesome hats.
Yeah.
Like, visible. Like,
yeah,
he's
right.
behind a kid, but he's super visible, actually. And
yeah.
He's definitely bringing the vibe. Like,
yeah.
Oh, 100%. Like, I turn to him when I need a boost of energy. Like, if the crowd's not giving it to me right there, I turn around and it's Ethan that gets me going.
Totally. So.
Yeah, I think of it as, like, multi-dimensional, at least in the case of, like, as the frontman, and then maybe just as entertainers. I think Ryan and I realize, like, we're not strictly musicians. Our gifts might not solely rely in being musicians, as in, like, totally technically skilled and technical masters of our instrument. Neither of us are, and we might not have the personalities to eventually become.
He's a damn good drummer.
Yeah, but like,
I'd say you're a good singer and he's a good drummer.
I appreciate that. You know, you have you certainly have to have a base level of skill. There needs to be some level in order to say go up and do it. But what we think about is a lot more of the entertainment product, more than anything.
Yeah.
And so I think of vocalists as people who can sing really, really well, and their source, how they provide entertainment to people is through the quality of their voice and their ability to sing. And we offer on stage what we consider to be like a more comprehensive package. Like, we want to be the kind of people who are in your face, who are up and down, who are getting you to be involved in the show, because that's where our talents rest, but then also that's what we seem to love. And that's, to me, like a big distinction, say, between like Ryan as a frontman, is Ryan is not only able to sing well, but boy, can he command a crowd. He is, in a lot of ways, like the show. I think of my perspective as an animated drummer as like, what I'm trying to do at any time is see if I can possibly steal attention away from Ryan, which is a hard task to do. But if I can at least provide that, then I can provide, like, okay, so they have someone else to look at, it's a little bit of entertainment for a slice, and then it's back to the main guy he's jumping up on bar tables, he's doing tricks with his microphone, he's dancing, he's getting in your face. That's the main show that they're witnessing, and music is almost like a beautiful complement to it, rather than say music is the end-all product, which is great too. I mean, we love a lot of musicians who music is the end product, and boy, can they play music in ways that I could never dream of, and I appreciate them for what they do too.
Dalen.
But our guitar player.
Yeah.
But that's like, our lane is a bit more about a sort of like comprehensive or like wholesome approach to entertainment.
And like it has a lot to do with how we grew up, like the people we listened to, right? Like we just started, like, we're our first Aerosmith tribute's coming up on May 1st. Collingwood,
Our show.
Side Launch Brewery, be there if you can.
What is May the 1st? Where's it at?
Side Launch Brewery in Collingwood. It's
Collingwood.
It's a bit of a drive.
Check it out.
Yeah, let's plug both of our shows that are.
No, this is actually Get Real is doing an Aerosmith tribute called Get a Real Grip, and so. Like, Aerosmith was my favorite band growing up. You know, like Ethan's growing up was AC/DC, and like we were big rockists, you know. But like you know, admiring bands like Van Halen and like Led Zeppelin and yada. Well, no, it's not so much Led Zeppelin for the show. Yeah, Queen, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just like those are the kind of guys that when we watch, like, that's entertaining. And so like we go up there, we know that our first job is to be entertainers, not musicians. Dalen is a musician before he's an entertainer. So he keeps us sounding good while we try to look good. It's kind of just
fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun, exactly. That's kind of the methodology and the system that we're applying there. You know, it seems to be working pretty well so far, and we're just hoping to continue to grow as musicians and get actually better, you know, musically, but more importantly, just spread our art to further places outside of Ontario, and hopefully soon inside of Ontario, and hopefully soon outside of Ontario.
Bring the joy of live music to as many people as can.
Yeah, and actually I think that's a really important distinction in these times that we're living in, because there's a lot of social media and AI generated for all the good it does, and maybe the harm as well. But I think people now, especially coming out of COVID, are really looking forward to that like live music connection, to see real people doing what they love to do, bringing that real energy, and actually connecting in person.
Yeah, right.
And I'm really glad that you guys, you know, made this important distinction about your art, not just about music, because it is an art form, what you guys are doing, which is the whole performance. It's like the whole package. And I agree, like, seeing either of you play, or I'd love to see you two together at some point, so I'll go come check it. But, like, you know, I could just see that it would just be a great, fun night out, you know?
Yeah, and that's our goal more than anything.
May 9th is our next local show at the Underwing.
May 9th?
Yeah, May 9th at the Underwing in Cambridge. So.
Okay.
It's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Great food, amazing staff. I can't say enough.
I'm going to put in my calendar.
Yeah, I mean, the Gaslight District is just happening. It's an awesome place to go. Yeah, I appreciate that, like, the distinction of just, you know, that art form in itself. And, you know, I think actually it's like, one, it's our passion, and like I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But also there's some level of survivability in that too, where it's just like, well, in an age of AI, like, how do you stand out? And like, well, I mean, being actually creative and avoiding AI in the art sphere is one argument to be made, but, you know, AI is catching up and may catch up to the level of just production to the point where you can't really tell the difference between the two. So the only way I see surviving that is, like, you just got to put on a show that people have to go see. Like, yeah, and like, How else do that? Like, how else could you do that other than? Well, I mean, there's actually a handful of ways. You could incorporate AI into a live show too. Right? You could do so in creative ways, which I honestly respect. We're not AI haters. Like, it's just
nor am I.
Yeah, but
I would say you're making a really good point. But I understand what you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tool more than anything. So I think it's still you get the human expression of like their use of the tool.
Numerous bands, and we talked about the performance. So maybe can you give me like in recent memory one of the most hilarious or fun things that happened at one of your shows?
Hilarious and funny thing. Yeah.
When
hilarious and fun,
when someone says hilarious and fun, sometimes it's one person thinks it's hilarious and fun, and the other person doesn't view it so hilariously.
It's not fun
or fun.
I think we have to hear more about this.
I think we do have to hear more about this. Now we have to be careful with how much we say. I don't think we probably won't name the venue.
It's pretty funny. We talked about this. Is this going to be on every single podcast?
I hope so. Well, I hope so. Yeah.
That's not a bit I want to commit to.
No, that's fair.
But I am all about committing to bits, so we might be stuck there.
Here we are.
Long story short, it was it's going to be hard to make it short. It was Game 7 of the World Series. I am a very, 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 very big Blue Jays fan. I get the jitters of like looking at I haven't looked at my phone yet, but I want to know what the score is right now. So, it's Game 7, and we are playing a show in Toronto. And so the place is absolutely jam packed up the wazoo. We're right near the Rogers Centre, this venue, and we're excited to have a show. And obviously things didn't go too well for the game, but prior to the game actually ending, we had some problems with. Sound guy was late, then wanted to do sound check during the game, which was not something we were willing to do. He started doing it anyways, got feedback, turned off the game's audio at one point. So we just start getting yelled at as the band, which we're not even on stage.
No,
we were getting yelled at.
We're not checking sound. The crowd starts to no more sound check. Chant.
I'm sitting there joining them because I'm like, I don't want to either. Okay. Well, that's not what management thought.
And one perspective too is, hey, the crowd's chanting for me. And that was cool. This bar was lively.
I know.
It was full to the brim.
And I was
it was packed. There was an energy in the place, and it just felt like if the Jays game goes well here, we are going to feel like rock stars.
We brought this is early in our band's career. Like, we brought a camera crew in to get some good footage for us. I brought my family because I wanted to watch it with the Blue Jays. I kept on asking them like, hey, can I jump on the mic and like MC this game? Because like I'll get the whole place chanting and going crazy. Like, I'm ready for this. This is what I'm born to do. And the guy's like, no. But instead, they'd rather do sound checks, I guess. Anyways, so the management comes up to us. He's like, "Hey, could you stop with sound checks? Like, just don't do the sound check. Do it live." We're like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like, I took a bite for it. I didn't want to throw the sound guy under the bus. So I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that, man. Our bad." So he goes, "Thank you." And so, sure enough, Jays lose, and within a matter of minutes, it goes from hundreds to like 8 people.
Yeah, like you've never seen a building clear that fast. Like, I'm confident that if the building was on fire, people would not have been able to get out as quickly as they did.
It was so sad.
It was like air deflating from a balloon.
I'm literally crying. So is my family there. Well, we're all in tears.
Yeah.
And I have to just suck it up. Like, Ethan's like, let's go. And I'm like, yeah.
We're gathering on stage. Patrons are... By the way, I gotta say, this story's sounding a lot more jaded than fun. So some of the people who are basically on their way out come up to us and like, please, we just need like 15 minutes of silence. Do you mind? We're contractually obligated by the venue to start playing right now. Like, I don't know what we can do. Like, we can't just for one person requesting, and then like in 2 minutes they left anyways. So, it's the kind of thing where you're just watching what would have been your entire night just go down the drain.
And then Dylan, Footloose was our first song. It was gonna be Seven Nations. It was gonna be Seven Nations Army if we won, or Seven Nation Army if we won. But we didn't. And we just started playing Footloose, and I gotta pretend to be having a good time. A couple people on the way out were like cheering and dancing. Otherwise,
playing absolutely nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
Absolutely nobody.
Anyways, the show just goes on. Like, we start really late because the Jays game went over to extra innings, obviously, and we weren't supposed to start till after the game anyways. So we didn't start till super late. So we didn't even take a break. We just played through for like an hour and a half till I forget what time at this point, but we're getting ready to call it. There's still nobody here. And like I was gonna ask the staff, could we just go? Like, this is just miserable. But
You're playing to nobody in your bar on a night where no one wants to be in a bar.
and I'm just like, I'm still in tears. Like, I was like, this is just brutal. Like, the staff doesn't want us here. Nobody wants us here. Let's just, like, I was ready to ask, but I didn't because I don't want to be unprofessional.
The show must go on.
We skipped our break because what's the point? We're just doing a live practice here. Yeah. By the way, sound guy, bless his heart, whatever, I don't remember his name right now, and I'm not trying to attack him, but he was new to the equipment, and he couldn't turn on my guitar or Ethan's microphone.
That was pretty funny.
One of the main harmonies, and literally my acoustic guitar, which I only use for a handful of songs, but not audible. And we sound terrible. We sound terrible. Like, we sound absolutely awful.
Yeah, really bad.
We had no sound check. Our monitors are all a mess, and literally 2 of our instruments are not working.
Oh, don't forget the projector screen that we were set up in front of. Still down.
Fuck, Martinez was on her face, man.
So, like, our photos, our media that we even collected from it are just like blurry, large pictures of the game. The projector flashing on our faces. Like, not even the media we got was very usable from it. Like, it was absolutely disaster.
Great pictures ruined by just Buck Martinez in tears behind us. It's just really sad.
Shut up, Buck.
Shut up, Buck. We miss you, brother. Anyways, crew comes back in. Group of 8 people or so.
They're feeling it.
They're having a good time. We're like, wow.
All the energy in the room just picks back up.
And they're just like, we came back. We heard you on the way out. We wanted to hear some more music. And that just warmed our hearts. And I'm like, I'm ready to call it and pack up. And these guys come in and like, no, we're going to put on a show for you guys. So we put on a show. 8 people. We play a couple of songs that we think will get them going. It gets them going. We tell them to come all the way to the front of the stage. They come to the front of the stage. They're like, hit us with this song. And we're like, we don't know that one, but you know what? We're gonna hit you with a freaking banger. So we start playing Sweet Child of Mine. And so Sweet Child of Mine, Dalen absolutely rips it on the solo. Yada yada yada. We're having fun. And we go to near the ending part. So we go into the Where Do We Go's part. And I just stood up and just did this like almost Elvis-like inversion of my knees, and my trick knee pops out. It just popped right on out. And so it popped back in on the way to the ground, but I'm on the way to the ground screaming. I dropped the microphone. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, rolling around.
But Ryan looks like he's Angus Young when he's dropped to the ground on that rising platform, and he spins a bunch while he's just playing nonsense on the guitar. That's what Ryan looks like.
I do that too sometimes.
So cool.
Yeah.
Like, that dude is putting on a show.
People thought I was just screaming.
Like, I could tell he was in brutal pain, but it looked so cool. There was no reason to stop, you know?
And so they didn't stop. Like, I tried to call for a stop for like the first second because my leg.
Telling him, no, we're not stopping. We're going.
For like a second or two, my leg was out, and then it popped in itself. And when it popped back in, I'm like, okay, this is just gonna hurt. Like, okay, I guess you guys could keep playing. And so I pick up the microphone by the last note, and I'm just screaming, and there's a recording. It's all on camera. This is all on camera because we recorded the whole thing. And like, you can hear me like try to get the last note out, but also crying at the same time. And that is me crying because of my knee and the Blue Jays, and just this night sucks. Anyways, so I go to the edge of the stage, I like crawl over, I lean over, and I'm like, hey guys, hope you enjoyed it. Did you guys see my knee pop out? They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, my knee popped out. They all laugh, and I'm like, I'm not joking. Can I get some ice? And they're like, seriously? And so, yeah. So somebody go grab some ice. And then Ethan walks over. He's like,
yeah, Ryan's sitting
to my left.
He's holding his knee.
Puts his arm around me. He goes, hey, Ryan, listen, Blue Jays lost. Life sucked. Your knee sucks. I know. I think now's a good time for tub thumping. Right. So he picks me up, and I'm literally like, him and another guy are holding me up, and I'm just singing into the microphone, jumping up and down. Anyways, yeah, so we finished that. I think that was the last song of the night we did. No, we did Pink Pony Club.
Yeah, we did do Pink Pony Club.
I used the mic stand as like a cane. Yeah. I was like I can't put pressure on it. You can see it a few times in the camera. Like, I try to stand, like, scream, and then like just go back. Anyways, we finished off the song with, I think Pink Pony Club was our last song of the night, and then we. That was tough, and then pack up was brutal, and the pain really started kicking in, and it was bad. And I remember asking the guys, like, how do we do it? He goes, you set a new standard for the place, buddy. And I'm like, thanks, man. That means a lot. Turns out that was him saying we sucked. They never hired us back again. We had 2 more shows that were supposed to be booked there. They canceled us right before our next show of it. They thought that everything sucked, and we weren't good enough for the place.
That's the only gig we ever lost.
It's true, it is. And we're pretty convinced it was the Blue Jays, not us, and the sound thing. But whatever.
It seems like there were a lot of extreme circumstances, just to be fair.
Well, I mean, even if we did suck, if the Blue Jays won, the people would be having the time of their lives. It wouldn't have mattered. 5 times. So it's just...
you're right.
The booker told us that beforehand,
you're
too.
so close to them. interesting.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things that I've ever been texted in my life was like literally before the Blue Jays show, and I was trying to get him some information. I was like, should we show up like super early? We showed up by like 4 hours early to sound check just to make sure that we had everything in time. And then the guy was late to the game, which was already an hour past sound check.
Now we're truly just jaded. If they lose, nothing you do will matter.
It's
just like literally just go in there and play like when you're told to, and that'll be the end of it. Like,
and he was right. We lost.
Right.
We lost the show because the Jays lost the game. And then he came and saw us afterwards, and he's like, first thing he said afterwards when he came up after seeing us live, he was just like, "It wasn't you guys, it was the Jays, eh?" And I'm like, "I thought so." And he's like, "I'll get it back for you." And then he got fired. And then we never got the show back.
He got undercut.
He did. He got undercut. Yeah, it's just painful, man. It's just
a lot of fun. You know what though? Every time I step onto stage with Ryan, no matter how mad we are just before the show starts, it's a great time. Like it's what's up?
That's partially because of the rule we have in play.
Yeah, no bad
vibes like Gig Day.
It's very important. It's very important. Ryan and I live together, and we live in effectively a house that is basically a cottage.
It's due for demolition.
It was marked for demolition. The demolition of it got delayed a bit, and so while they're waiting for the house to get demolished, they're like, we might as well rent this out. So that led to being the cheapest possible house that Ryan and I could possibly find.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of advantages, like it's far away from our neighbors. For example, we're on a nice property. We're on Goldwater. But it's a small space. It's we basically each have a small bedroom, and we have one bathroom. We got a kitchen, and then we have like a sort of like a living space. And you know, like the walls are thin.
Our tempers are thin.
We're constantly in each other's grills and lives and faces, and so like you'll start fighting about like the stupidest stuff. But man, that first note, you start that first note, and it's just like it all disappears.
Yeah,
you're in a completely different world. And you even if you want to be mad, you can't even stay mad for that long. Your mind gets taken, your emotions get taken, and you're basically like, we'll talk about that later, and then half the time you forget it anyways.
And let me be very clear. Like gig day stress with Ethan is at a very high. Okay, Ethan, when he's focused and he's setting up his gear, there's no negotiating with Ethan. Ethan is in focus gear mode. You say one thing that's off, that even slightly out of line, Ethan will let you know you're an idiot. Okay?
Listen, buddy, I'm doing my thing. You do your thing. We got our thing.
Just do it. It makes sense to do it that way. No, what about Ryan? Just do it. Okay, all right, Ethan. Okay.
I'm doing it. So we're late, and then I'm the kind of guy who's like, when I'm focused on my task, I'm a no distractions kind of guy. I don't tolerate them well. We'll do whatever I can to just block out everything. I've got a lot to do, so especially for Get Real, I play an acrylic drum kit, and I've rigged LED lighting inside of it. And then I run a trigger system that basically every time I hit the drum, that drum lights up in our band color.
Wow.
So that pretty much doubles my setup time for drums. And if we happen to be late to venues, I am in a grind to set up, and I'm already the kind of person who, when I'm focused,
right,
I don't want to be distracted. So it's that perfect mix of like, I now have a lot to do, and I can't be taken off this task.
Are we going to see that on May 9th?
Yeah, Get Real. You'll see it at every show with Get Real, unless there are technical difficulties, which there have been a couple of times. But it's getting a lot more reliable. It's really cool. In fact, we're building out our whole LED rig for everyone. So Ryan's acoustic guitar now has LED lights on it. Moon, our bass player, has installed it on his. So we're just trying to add that as a visual component of our show, because we're very interested in providing a show that hits on all the elements as we can. We have our band like sort of looks, so we have our gimmicks, we have our color, we have our sound and our songs and our set list, and that's like all together we provide a pretty cool picture.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm honestly very much looking forward to seeing this. I think everybody else who's listening who hasn't seen you guys should go check it out.
Yeah, come check out Get Real.
8:30 May 9th, underway.
Fantastic. And are you guys on socials?
Yeah, we actually have 6 shows next month, so we have plenty of shows. If you're not in Cambridge, you want to come by, but come check us out. Get Real Band. Get Real the Band.
It's Get Real Band. At Get Real and then at Get Real Band.
Yeah, it's Get Real Band. Yeah, it's Get Real Band.
You just type in Get Real, you'll find us or you won't, and then it wasn't meant to be if you don't find us.
We're not the ones from the UK.
If you do.
We're not the band from the UK.
Yeah, you might be fooled by our occasional British accents, which we've not pulled out yet, and probably I won't.
Come to the Stone Show, you'll hear it.
That's it. But we're not from the UK. We're from actually Barrie, Ontario. Mm-hmm. So that's our hometown.
Actually, Get Real's Cambridge.
You're right. Get Real's from Cambridge, Ontario.
Cambridge.
The best city in the Tri-City area, and I only say that now because I live there.
You said that about Waterloo and Kitchener when you lived at those places.
Both. best cities in the Tri-City area when you live in them.
They're all the best city.
No, that can't be true. Doesn't make any sense.
Actually, let's. This is an interesting conversation. So maybe, and it's funny because we work with Midtown Radio, and we always hear people saying which is like the best of the Tri.
Oh yeah.
So what I actually wanted to do is maybe just go more holistically on this and just talk about like the scene in the Tri-City, because you guys, played a ton of shows, got some stuff in Toronto. The fact that you played Toronto, like, that's amazing, honestly. So congrats for that. But what do you guys feel like is going on in the scene currently in the Tri-Cities, and is there anything that you think we can do to like improve? I know, like, for example, we hear of this all the time. Use more venues potentially, but from your perspective, is there like, how's it going with like the up and coming bands? Do you see any trends? Anything you're excited about, or anything opportunities you think that can make this a better?
Like, I don't even know if I'd say we need more venues. I think we just need to fill those venues is a bigger problem. Like, obviously, turnout and audience turnout's always a problem. Like, the main focus for any running establishments. But like, there are some nice venues around here that are perfectly capable of holding big acts and small acts, like acts of all sizes. So it's just a matter of getting out of the COVID lag of live music and getting back to what's the word I'm looking for? Sustainable musical ecosystem. And how to do that, I wish I had some magical answer. I don't really know more than the next guy. I'd like to argue it's just good music, good marketing. But there's probably more factors than that. Like economic struggles are always going to be a factor. And the deeper the recession, the harder it is to have just extra money to spend on non-essentials. So and unfortunately, live music I'd have to say is a non-essential as much as I'd like to think it isn't. But
it might be essential for us, but it isn't for us.
Yeah, and I'd argue having some level of art and entertainment in your life is debatably essential, but that varies from person to person. So,
and how that manifests and what that looks like.
Exactly, it could be just as as simple as just a pen and a paper in a room, like just drawing. So, entertainment is essential to some degree to keep us sane, but that doesn't mean live music is, unfortunately. So, I understand why it takes a hit. It's hard for me to get out and go see shows. I go see as many as I can, but even the ones that I have the time to and I'm not gigging, if the price is too much, I can't do it. And so. And I like to think myself as as an avid as a live music supporter as there as a lot of the other amazing people out there that do so. So it's hard. And I guess the best thing I would say is just when you're going out, tell your friends, hey guys, let's go check out this show. I think word of mouth is one of the old fashioned ways that will actually really help. And socials, people don't really care about the event pages anymore. So it's maybe some, but it's just not as effective. So just get out there, go have a beer.
And I look at it like
DD though.
We're in a competition for people's attention ultimately. Like I don't love to talk about it from like the business angle and the robotic, cold, emotionless.
Yeah, you've never been robotic.
You're basically trying to optimize people's watch time and have them come out to you. But really, that's what you're doing. Like, that's what we're doing is we're competing with people from being able to just sit at home and stay on their phone. And look at me. I'm a guy who loves my computer. I love the internet. I love it. And I can get completely lost into it. I could get lost into it probably forever, easily for months, years. There's too many things to do on there. And that immediately is what you're competing with, Todd, for. Like, if you're offering a live product, you're competing with all sorts of things. And our stance on that has to be that you basically just need to do something that's worth it for the person who would spend all that time and effort and money to get dressed, go out of their house, go to a venue, organize all the things that need to be organized with that. We are trying to do something that makes that totally worth it to them. And realistically, like, you have to do a lot more when you're there live to make that worth it than you do to, say, like, create a simple short on your phone that they might just like scroll through quickly and call it a day. So I guess like I'd be hesitant to say like to offer any advice into anything that isn't the specific lane that I'm in, which is like playing live music, playing live covers, and trying to be an entertaining band. Is our approach is we need to be doing something better than what people can be doing on their phones, and it's going to have to grow through word of mouth and then through social media itself, through clips, so that people can see like I want to see this in person. The one major advantage that you have to playing live music here more than anything is you can be seen in person. And that's true with every locality, but here we're not quite in Toronto. You're not having to drive quite in like an hour plus or deal with what the 401 is just to see somebody perform their heart out and play. We're just trying to offer live entertaining music that people can see in their own backyards. There are plenty of venues that you can do it at. The scene is full of wonderful people. I mean, like, yeah, who would have thought, like, somebody who's into music, like, people who are also into music, they rock. Like, you can, it's very easy to make friends in that community. And so, like, I think of it as, like, but people have other things to do. So you need to do something that's worth them not doing those things.
Yeah, sorry, just one more quick thing too. This is for the people in the industry too, is that like, stop making it a competition. Like there are some bands out there that just don't understand it's
I'm
not
clapping in the background.
Yeah, right. Like it doesn't. I think it's actually illogical to me. Like I can't understand why people don't understand. Like it's just business 101. Like you open up two stores that have the same you open them across the street from each other. They usually help each other out. It's the same with music, man. Like you need to establish live scenes wherever you want to stay alive. And like other bands aren't there to hurt you; they're there to help. Even if they're playing on the same night, man, people do bar crawls. That's not how it works. They can be playing the same. They can be playing the same genre as you at a venue across the street. And if you're saying that's a bad thing, you're just not looking at it right, man. Market it. Find a way to make it so both of you guys sell even better. Like it's just all about approach. And keeping venues alive and keeping venues to a point where they could actually pay you the proper amount to keep you alive is important. And the only way you're going to do that is have other bands, man. So even the ones in the same genres, we're in tributes, and like there are some bands that some bands in the tribute scene that are very understanding. They'll offer you, gigs that they don't get. They'll offer you subs if you need them. Great people, great times. And then there's some that are complete opposites that are just like they're trying to hurt you. Like they want to see you fail. And it's like I don't understand that mentality. I think it's a silly mentality.
Yeah, I'll offer a slight comment on that, which is like I totally agree with it's not best to go through the world wishing for other people to fail.
Yeah.
But I think competition is an awesome thing. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to do what you can to, like, as humans, we experience jealousy. We experience being envious of other people. And
I totally see the PhD work.
And that can often come out pretty viciously and not be something you want to be around. But you can use it as, if I see another band, Romeo Sex Fighter is a band. There's just they're awesome. Sorry, I was about to swear. I'm not sure if I should. They're awesome.
They're so good.
But looking at them, often I feel like, oh my god, like I want to be doing that. Like oh, I want that. Like oh, I love that. Why aren't we doing that? It's exactly treat it like friendly competition.
It's friendly competition, and it does. It absolutely, like I've been there too, where I see something like your guitar player. If I see him playing, I'm going to go like, dude, I want to be able to do this.
Yeah,
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's me to be like, oh, I got to start practicing.
Yeah, exactly. And having that in the scene is very healthy. It needs to be friendly. You got to have sportsmanship. We're all in this field together, and we're all in it because we love it and what we want to be doing with it, and we're all trying to make it better. Learn from the other people who are in your scene and talk to them, get to know them, go to their shows. I advocate for that, and I'm terrible at doing that.
Connor Gaines is playing the White Rabbit right now. Go right after.
This common thread of your performance and like how it's an art and how you guys actually really are curating such a cool visual experience as well as the audio experience, right? So if someone, and I imagine I'm going to be one of these people want to see you guys live together, right? I've already seen you guys separately and I've already been inspired. But if someone's looking at what you guys are doing and go like, man, I really want to start something like that, like what advice could you maybe give or inspiration you would give to say like incorporate some of this, whatever it is, this visual mojo that's got going on?
That was
my answer would be do it. Like do it. Go for it. If you feel that in you, let it out. It is something that is like, to quote like Bukowski, like it's in you, it's aching to get out, like sort of like a womb, like a child is in there reaching out and trying to break out of the womb. Like let that express itself.
Don't try.
Yeah, and ultimately summarized by the philosophy of don't try, which is like if you find yourself doing a thing over and over again throughout your life, that's the thing you don't have to try to do. Do that. If you have to try to do something, it's a good way to know, to signal to yourself that you might not really love it. So if you see people with the energy, and doing live music in a way that's like, oh, those guys, like, they're trying to emulate rock stars. They're trying to get on that grain, and I appeal to that too. Like, just do it and don't try. Like, let yourself find that path. That's very much the philosophy that I adhere to, because I'm maybe a little against the grain of like, don't try to be someone that you're not. And do whatever you can to be okay with who you are. And not to get maybe too proud with this, but like, man, like we're all here. Like, everybody is beautiful. Everybody really is their own unique shade of person. And I think, like a very worthy lifelong goal is to figure out who you are. And that's something you can be doing right now. And it's something you've been doing. And so if you know yourself, let yourself just be yourself. And find yourself going into those lanes. That's very much what Ryan and I do. Like, we certainly do put a lot of effort into what we do, but man, so much of it just comes out. We have no control over that. It just comes out. And so if you find that...
And that's what art is about, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just express yourself and be you and be comfortable being you.
So that's like a really motivational, psychological, analysis of it. For like more of a applicatory way to do it. Like, you're just like, what would people do? Like, I agree with him. Like, if you need to try to force yourself to do something, you probably don't actually have the will or want to do it at all. There could be exceptions to that. There could be just, fears and stuff like that. But what I would say is just actually, like, ask. If you find yourself inspired by somebody, reach out to that person. Like, tell them you inspire me. Like, here's what I want to do. Tell them your plan. Like, this is what I think I want to, like, this is what I want to do. This is how I do it. Any recommendations? I just want to learn. So many people respond. I did that when I started my tributes. I did that when I started my bands, like our bands. People are down to help,
They really are.
They're freaking the last people that we were on a podcast with, Jesse Weber. We started becoming friends with him because I got his number from, I think, Tyler Fry, and I was just like, hey, Jesse, we just moved into town. I know you've been a lifelong musician in the area. I just want to talk and ask some questions. The dude was like, please, like we took him out for lunch, and he was just so happy that we asked him in the first place, because he did the exact same thing when he was our age, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, what a gem.
And I just like I can't imagine that if I ever have any level of success in the field and I'm able to make a life out of it, if some kid comes up to me and says, "What do I do?" that I want to be doing the exact same thing.
You got to pay it forward.
Yeah, pay it forward. It's just an honor. Like, of course I'd love to do that. I want to get to the point where I can have the right to do that. But, like right now I'm still going to make it, but, it's just ask, man. Just go out there and ask,
I love both of those responses, and that's what's really cool about the dynamic that I'm seeing with you guys, even from before, like you sitting on this couch and talking to me. It's like, yeah, like you guys almost have two sides of the same coin.
That's a nice way to phrase it.
And they're both equally balanced, which is super cool.
Yeah. Hear that, Ryan?
I'm the head.
Okay, that means I'm the equally balanced butt.
Okay.
And you're listening to Midtown Radio.
That's right. This is where we flip the coin and see where it lands.
Oh,
I love the energy you guys brought. Thanks for your insights. We already talked about you guys are on social, so if people want to find you, go check you out. You got some shows coming up. And as you heard here first, like, if you have any questions about the music, the art, the collaboration, the energy, you can always send these guys a message. And
yeah, absolutely, please do. I love getting the DMs. DMs make me so happy from new people, just asking for anything or collabing or just inquiries.
We love to talk.
We do. we talk a lot.
Probably too much. So we'd love to talk to you.
All right, that's great. Friends, thank you very much. Once again, you've been listening to Scene2IQ, and with me tonight was Ethan Meyers and Ryan Silver from Get Real, the band, and Stoned and Rolling. It's been a pleasure talking to both of you. Thank you very much for your time. And anybody who's listening, I encourage you to reach out to them. Be well and take care.